Last week, Microsoft announced their brand new collaboration suite called Teams, which is going to live inside their Office 365 ecosystem, adding a whole new element of real-time collaboration to the Microsoft suite. Last week I wrote a little bit about this after I watched the launch where Satya introduced the new product to the world, and basically I've had a little time to digest the product, the solution, where it sits, and I wanted to take a couple minutes and chat about that. So initially when Microsoft rolled out their new solution, Teams, they got the attention of the Slack community. So there were a lot of people out there calling what Microsoft was launching as the Slack killer. For those of you not familiar, Slack has somewhere around 4 to 6 million users today and is on a pace to do about $100 million, although they are valued in the billions according to investors in the Silicon Valley. Now, Microsoft's 365 ecosystem is closer to $1 billion, so there's a huge reason why people using 365 would take interest in the new collaboration suite. On the other side of the coin, after reviewing and looking at what the suite actually offered, I thought it was interesting that so many people are pairing it with Slack, because Slack is really a pervasive messaging tool and app, and it does have a team element, which is mighty effective within small businesses, and I'm sure they have their share of enterprise clients. However, what the Microsoft suite offers, which is much more compelling, is the full unified communications suite along with the productivity tools. So what they really offer is the full Google Cloud for apps, for documents, for spreadsheets, for video, and then of course what Slack offers for chat, pervasive messaging. And what's interesting is that so much energy is being put into comparing this Teams solution from Microsoft with Slack, when I really think what Teams is a new version or a new launch of what Cisco's done with Spark. So now what we really have is three. We have three companies that are really competing in this market, and Microsoft's entry has basically validated the market in a big way. You now have a company that has nearly 1 billion users in their Office 365 suite saying, hey, we see the need for a new type of collaboration that brings in chatbots, that brings in social, that brings in Teams. It makes it very, very simple to be productive in situations where you have hybrid groups, people local or people far away. I hear a lot that the 365 integration with this Microsoft Teams is a big deal. I'm still kind of on the fence with that right now, because I've done so many collaborations where it's simply drop a link and people can open up a Google Doc and collaborate in real time. I guess if you're a Microsoft house, that this is something that's going to be really interesting, is that ability. But I'm pretty sure that even if you were in Slack or you were in Cisco Spark, you could put the link to the Office 365 doc and collaborate in real time on the screen. So that I'm not as sold on. But overall, what I do think is going on is we have reached the point where people are expecting a full unified communication and collaboration suite that works seamlessly between devices, from mobile to tablet to phablet to desktop, that allows anybody working anywhere to connect and to seamlessly move from voice to video to messaging in both real-time synchronous and not real-time asynchronous, so that overall companies are better able to put projects together, work teams. And probably the biggest overarching issue that needed to be mentioned, and that really I think is the impetus of this whole Teams or Spark or Slack effort, is the elimination or massive reduction of the utilization of email. Because what's really going on today is we just have too much email. So no matter which solution you're using, how do we find a single environment where we can have our business communications day to day, both with inside of our companies and outside, external to our companies, track all that information, get real-time insights, get real-time communications, incorporate new technologies. I love that Microsoft's using the chatbot framework. Spark has an open API for this type of integration as well, and I'm sure Slack is following suit. So here's the thing. My guess, my prediction is that Microsoft will get very little buy-in from the Slack community, their 4 to 6 million users. I see those small startup type enterprises staying with Slack because they were there from the beginning. And what I do see now is a race between the two big boys, Cisco and Microsoft, to win the enterprise. And I think it'll be very interesting as we go from 4 to 6 million users in this pervasive chat collaboration environment to now 500 million and 1 billion users. that we have with Office 365 and Cisco, and you're going to have two companies that are very entrenched inside both lines of businesses and the CIO's office, basically trying to compete and compel that they have the right collaboration solution in a time where innovation is so dependent on collaboration. So there you have it. You've got Microsoft Teams, you've got Slack, you've got Cisco Spark, three very viable tools. My guess, Slack stays in the small, mid, and startup markets, and Cisco and Microsoft are going to be duking it out in the enterprise.